What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today, once again, we're going to be rounding up a few interesting topics that I wanted to discuss with you guys. This time about something helpful for the raid, one of the few unobtainable exotic items, some final info about Faction Rally before it ends, and some new rewards soon to arrive in Destiny 2. So let's begin with something cool created by the community that's definitely going to help a lot of you guys out inside the raid, and that is a map of the entire Underbelly, and there's also one inside 3D, so you can clearly see the entire area with all the rooms linked together. You got the chests, the watcher puzzles, where all the entrances go, and of course these shortcuts to all the boss encounters, which is super helpful. So if you do have checkpoints, as I've covered, you can just skip the door section completely and go straight through the Underbelly to that direct boss room, and it's actually much faster than doing that entire standard bearer stage to open up the doors. And with this, of course, you can see the entrance, which is closest or more convenient to each boss room. And also, of course, one of the best uses for this is seeing what chests are nearby or maybe on the way, because now you can see the aqueduct, for example, is on the way to the pool. So if someone in your team has a certain key, you can easily figure out which ones are nearby. So it's a really helpful tool. And the normal 2D version was made by Edesso, with the 3D stacked version being made by Scooby DZ. So of course I'll link them down below. And also thanks to Nate the Great 26 for letting me know about these maps. But yeah, really cool creation by the community. Wanted to show them off to you guys and hopefully it helps. So next up, something not a lot of people know about is that the Legend of Engrams does have an exotic ornament. Obviously it's not inside the game right now, which is why it's not common knowledge, but it's one of two exotics that we don't have ornaments for just yet. The other one, of course, being Borealis. So every single exotic weapon, as far as I'm aware, has an ornament, which you can get in Bright Engrams, and you can see them all listed here. And if you're wondering why the Borealis doesn't have one, it's because it's actually a PlayStation exclusive, so the weapon won't be on PC or Xbox for a year. Unfortunately, that's how it works if you're new to Destiny, but I guess they thought not to put an ornament for a weapon you can't get in the Bright Engrams for everyone. But like I said, the Legend of Engrams is also the other weapon to not have an ornament. I'd imagine when the weapon is fully available in-game, they probably will add one. I'm not sure whether they'll just add it to the list of Bright Engram stuff, but of course the weapon itself isn't fully available right now in the game, so that's why Bungie probably haven't added it to the list or figured out a way to get it. But right now, of course, you get the weapon in 3 different variants, each more powerful than the last, the more steps you complete. The first one right now only has 1 shot in the magazine and 1 perk, and then after that you do a bunch of raids, which is actually going to be fixed in the next update. That gives you another round to the mag and more perks. And then of course the final step is to do the prestige version of the raid, and that is going to get you the final, most upgraded version. I'm really hoping the mag size on that one is bigger than 3, but maybe also you get given the ornament as well, seeing as it isn't inside the Bright Engrams. They could just add it in, but eventually the ornament is of course going to be available. Now, also as a random fact about the Legend of Engrams, it is actually based off the same weapon some Cabal are holding. So that arc shotgun, you might notice, it does ridiculous damage up close. It's based off that exact gun. I mean, you probably haven't gotten close enough to notice what the weapon they're holding is, but it's actually this exotic, which is cool because it follows the same trend of every raid weapon being enemy inspired. We had the Vex Mythoclast, the Necrochasm, Touch of Malice, Outbreak Prime, and even those 3 Prison of Elders exotics, which were Fallen based. But now we have this thing being our Cabal raid weapon, as well as the Skyburner's Oath, which is like a more accessible slug rifle. So next up, to do with the Faction Rally, something that was recently discovered that's actually really strange and probably an accident is that Future Warcult as a faction does not have a cap. In a recent video I mentioned how basically 600 tokens or 30 engrams is your cap, and after that you're only going to get shaders from those packages, whereas Future Warcult doesn't actually work like that. It's only New Monarchy and Dead Orbit that have that cap in place, which is really strange. Now this is obviously accidental because Bungie did say there is a cap and they announced it, so they intended to have this kind of feature there, but it's obviously unintentional that Future Warcult don't have it. Now, something I thought of is that this might actually add a very slight advantage to Future Warcult winning the Faction Rally. I'm not sure how much of an effect it might have, but I'm sure most of us are going to stop grinding Dead Orbit and New Monarchy once we hit level 30 and hit that 30 cap. But pretty much everyone who knows about this, which is obviously a lot of people, is going to have no reason to stop grinding Future Warcult, and especially seeing as they have some of the most rewards to grind for being those weapons, which are arguably the most sought after ones. But the things that you want from New Monarchy and Dead Orbit are mostly shaders, armor, things that aren't that difficult to get. But FWC weapons are a lot more rare, so people might want to grind more for these, and definitely with this knowledge, it's going to tip the scales a little bit in my opinion. The question is how much, but who knows, maybe Dead Orbit won't win after all, and to be honest, I wouldn't mind that. As much as I love Dead Orbit, their winning weapon is not that great, to be honest, and like I've said before, it's a high impact scout rifle with Destiny 2's version of Take a Knee compared to an Omlon Pulse rifle with Firefly, so I would actually much rather if FWC actually won to get that Pulse rifle. So who knows, I think it's become a lot more even now, and maybe Dead Orbit won't win, Now, as a side note, I see a lot of people ask me why I often say that Dead Orbit are going to win, if I'm joking or just biased or guessing, but it's actually because every single poll they always win, including the most official poll ran by the official Destiny the Game Twitter, which 75,000 people voted, which is massive, not the entire community, but still a lot of people, and 50% are pledging to Dead Orbit, so it's pretty clear evidence. You can always kind of sense what the community goes for the most. Plus, playing the game since Destiny 1, I just know which faction is the most popular, even before Faction Rally and before the polls. I said multiple times that Dead Orbit is the most popular, and it's just a fact, really. It's not me guessing or being biased, and I'm not even pledged to them yet, as a fun fact. I'm still working on my Warlock, which is my third character, but right now my 2 Hunters are actually on FWC and the Monarchy. But like I said, right now with Dead Orbit's gear being so average compared to the others and this unintentional bug, maybe things will turn out differently. Maybe Future Occult will win. There's definitely going to be a few more people grinding for them. But I want to know what you guys think of this in the comment section. I want to know who you think is going to win at this current point and if this bug is going to make a difference. So on top of that, I also wanted to take a look at some new loot rewards, which is safe to assume are going to be added to the game in the future. The first one is an aura for the Prestige Raid, and it rounds off the collection of the 3 endgame activities, so Flawless Trials, Prestige Nightfall, and Prestige Raids, so each with a different aura. Now, there's also 2 pretty weird looking engrams from Eververse, and they seem to be very similar to treasures from Destiny 1. These would basically drop items from the live event that was going on at the time. So this is the Golden Sevens bundle, which if I was to guess was maybe to do with the next live event, maybe a new Festival of the Lost equivalent. And inside you actually get this ship, which I showed off in a recent video a while back. And I said how it didn't look like it was from Iron Banner, but it was added with those items. So it makes sense this gold ship is actually from this golden package. Now there's also the Sub-Zero bundle, which again, all we can do is speculate. So maybe this is a Dawning type event, seeing as it's all snowy and frosted themed. And it can also drop the Sub-Zero ornament for the Cold Heart, which is another reason why I think it could be Dawning related, because the Cold Heart becomes available to everyone who didn't pre-order on the 5th of December, so maybe it'll be at a similar time. But there is also, of course, the Curse of Osiris happening around the same time too, so who knows, just some interesting stuff worth noting. But there you go, that was another rundown of some pretty interesting topics that I wanted to discuss with you guys. As always, if you enjoyed the video, a like rating would be much appreciated. If you want to watch another video from me, then you can click the image on screen right now. It's a really interesting look at a bunch of secrets and lore and also potential DLC areas, so definitely worth a watch. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next one.